So, what should you do with your money as a real estate agent when you get a commission check? How are you handling your money? How do you handle taxes, paying yourself, paying all of your expenses? That's going to be our topic for today. Welcome to today's morning meeting. I'm Greg Luther, the one guy that meets with you every single week to help you in growing your real estate business. Today, we're talking about money because it's the number one thing that agents have a lot of problems with, and they end up in trouble with debt. And they end up in trouble with the IRS as well. Today, I want to talk to you a little bit about really a simple approach you can use. It's not the best approach, but it's really easy. It's a great start for you to make sure that when you get a commission check, you're going about things the right way. What I always recommend is for agents, let's take a $10,000 check just so that the math is really easy here. You should really have 3 different checking accounts. So you're doing a split deposit or put it all in one account and transfer it the next day to utilize all 3 accounts so that you keep your books right, you're paying yourself correctly, and you never get behind on expenses, you never get behind on your debt, and you certainly never get behind on the IRS. What we're doing essentially is we're creating an operating account, a personal account, and a tax account. All 3 of these are just basic checking accounts. You can get a free checking account. If you check around with some of these banks, they'd love to hold your money. Essentially what we're doing, when we get that $10,000 check, you want to put 60% of everything you earn into your personal account. That's for your household bills, paying your mortgage, taking your wife out to dinner, taking your husband out to dinner, whatever it is. All of your personal expenses, you're only getting 60% of what you make. One big problem a lot of agents have, they get a commission check and they start using it all. They use it all like it's their own money, and it's not. You know Uncle Sam's taking some of it. You know you're going to have business expenses. You know you should have business expenses to invest in marketing to get more revenue coming in. But a lot of agents, those checks are few and far between. So when they do get a commission check, they just put it all in their personal checking account and hope that things work out. That's the number one reason you're getting yourself in trouble. So I want you to write this math down so you can see it on a piece of paper. When that $10,000 check comes in, 60% goes into your personal account. 20% goes into your business account because you do have business expenses. So 20% goes into your business account. That's going to be for all your expenses that you have, reinvesting in marketing, everything else that you have. Again, we're talking this gross number that you get after you've paid your brokerage. So depending on what kind of split you have with the broker, you get your finalized check. This is how you split it up. 60% to your personal, 20% to your operating account, and 20% to your tax account. By doing this, now you have to find a way to live on that 60%. Because by the way, you know how you fix that? Sell more houses. Get more $10,000 checks. Don't think that, oh, I got 10 grand, I'm good for a while. No, you got 6 grand. You're good for a very short period of time. We need to get it back out there and start closing more deals. So this simple split deposit, or put it all into the operating account and then pay the other 2 accounts tomorrow, if it's easier for you to do the transfers that way. But this is really the best way for you to get started in just being a little more organized with what you're doing so that you know when you get a check, just like all businesses in the world, if you owned a McDonald's as an example, if you make $9,000 in hamburger sales today, you can't put that in your personal account and start using it for your house. No, you're running a business here. So you should be paying yourself either a certain percentage of or even a salary. That's getting more detailed on, do I need an LLC? Should I have an S Corp, a C Corp? Should I pay a salary, do a quarterly disbursement? Now we're getting into the difficult stuff. That's what we do. Once we get agents to 300, 400,000 a year, like I want you to be set up the right way. You should do that at all times, but a real simple approach, if you're a solo agent right now, your debt is a mess, your IRS is a mess, your revenue when it comes in, it's just money in, money out. The best way for you to adjust that is to do 60, 20, 20 as you're getting started here. You'll find that will help you tremendously. An awful lot of agents are like, well, 20% is not enough for the IRS. You only took 60. If you took 6,000 and you put away 2,000, that's actually a third of what you took. You don't need to pay on all of your gross income. You pay on your profit or what you take personally. So you're putting away a third of what you took. So it should be 60, 20, 20. And just by doing this every single time you get a check, you make that an organized approach that you're utilizing. You always have money for quarterly disbursement or quarterly tax payments. You always have money for your expenses, for advertising, for whatever it is you're looking to do to grow your business. And most importantly, your debt goes away and you've got some money in the bank and you can pull from it when needed, but you also know how much you have to live on, which means you're not going to touch that 60% for any of your business. That is for your personal use. You earned it. That's yours. You get to keep it. So you start to play that game a little differently and you realize you do need more transactions. Like if you're only closing 1 or 2 transactions a month, the money is few and far between and you're not able to keep those checks separate. You got to put it all in your account. You got to try and catch up on your bills because your car is getting ready to get taken away, right? I understand the math on that or why you would do it that way. But when you do it like this, 60, 20, 20, what you'll find is you start to play a little different game in your mind on how do I get more closings happening? How do I get the consistency that I need? Because I know whenever I get a commission check, after splits and everything else, I only get 60% of what's left. The rest of it goes to my business and the rest of it goes to the IRS. So when you do it that way, now our advertising gets bigger. Our conversion rates get better. We start to create a better business model that makes sense along the way here. And it just becomes habit for you. You never get behind with the IRS anymore. The reason you got behind is because you spent the money that wasn't yours. The reason you ended up with debt is because you weren't earning enough to pay that debt that needed to be taken care of. I've got some detailed videos we're going to be posting on YouTube here, as long as you're following the page, to talk about getting your finances right and what you should be doing. Why, if you have any debt at all, you should not have money. If you have debt, you better not have $2,000 sitting in a bank account for a rainy day fund. That's the craziest thing you can do. I'm creating some videos right now. They've got them in final editing because I really wanted to teach you from a real estate agent's perspective. Here's how you get out of debt. You build a real net worth. You make moves that make sense for your business. So as long as you are following the channel here, make sure you got notifications turned on or it's going to be posted on the page and you'll never see it. So you got to follow and turn on notifications. But if you need to get your finances right, you need to take care of the IRS. You need to take care of any debts you have. If you don't have your debt to zero, you haven't even started building a net worth. Why are you talking about investments when you have debt? We have to get you to zero first before we can get you to positive. So I'll show you a little bit about how that works with some very detailed training. I'm actually going to be drawing out exactly how that works for you because I want you to be successful in this business. And successful does not mean selling a few more houses. That's not the case. You selling more houses is not going to fix your issue. You have to have a little strategy, a little business plan behind what you're doing here. So I'll walk you through that process. I'm going to show you what some of the top producers are doing, how they're making the kind of money they're making, but more importantly, keeping a good portion of that. Ultimately, our goal is for you to turn dimes into dollars. And you've seen me show this over and over and over. If your advertising is working right, if your offer is good, if you know how to convert, you're turning dimes into dollars, meaning for every $1,000 we put in marketing, we're able to get $10,000 back. You're not going to get that in a rental property. You're not going to get that in a stock market. You're not going to get that in an IRA. You're not going to get it in a SEP or in a Roth or in anything else. You're going to get it from advertising your product, your service, and what it is that you do. So ultimately, the best investment you'll ever have is quite literally in your business. That's not a cliche statement. Investing is in you because you're the workhorse. You're the one that can earn the big money. Investing in you, that is truly the best investment you'll ever have. But it's not going to happen if you're servicing debt. It's not going to happen if you're dealing with the IRS or you've got issues with the way that you're handling your money. So ultimately today, I want you to make sure you've got 3 bank accounts. You probably already have at least 2. You've got a operating account and a personal account. I don't have to tell you the number one reason for audits in America. You can Google this if you want. The number one trigger for audits, commingled funds. It's the number one way for you to get in trouble, meaning when you get a check, it all goes in your personal account or in one account. So now you're paying business expenses out of that. You're paying your mortgage out of that. You're paying your electric bill. You're paying your car payment, and you're going to Texas Roadhouse tonight. If you're doing all of that out of one account, it's the number one trigger to get audited by the IRS, and then you're probably screwed as a real estate agent. So the first thing you have to do is separate those two things. I have a business account or operating account. I have a personal account, and then I have a checking or savings. You can have it interest bearing. You can have high yield interest, whatever, for that tax account, just so that you can pay that as it comes due. If you do those three things, you're getting a lot more organized. Again, by no means is it the best financial advice, but it's a whole lot better than what you're doing now, and you can do it today. Get your money in order, get rid of all your debt, and then ultimately start building a real net worth for yourself. I've got an awesome video I'm going to be releasing for you here concerning finances and what you need to do as an agent, how the money works, how the turning dimes into dollars works, and I'm really going to lay that out. It'll be an extended training for you. I think you'll find that helpful. Make sure you're following the page. Let me know your thoughts about this, by the way. Are you doing this yourself? Do you have 3 separate accounts? Do you have a CPA that's doing this for you? Have you had it all in one account? How many of you are cool enough to say, you know what? I'm doing it wrong. This was helpful for me. Let me know in the comments here. I'd love to know your thoughts about it, as well as the city and state you sell real estate in. Many of you know we do a lot of referrals, so it's helpful to see all of the agents in the city and state that they would accept referrals in. Let us know in the comments here. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Greg Luther. Bye-bye for now.